You're listening to Myers-Briggs Question Corner with Edythe Richards.
Today's question is from Sarah, who asks, I'm an INFJ and my partner is an ISTP. We have a good relationship, but sometimes I feel frustrated with what I perceive as his lack of initiative and procrastination. He has been miserable for years now in an ill-suited job. He is an office clerk, but he absolutely hates working in an office. I've been trying to motivate him to take control of his life and actively look for a career which will make him happy, but his attitude is that there's nothing out there better for him and that it's pointless. How can I motivate him to change this fixed mindset and take on a more hopeful and constructive approach? So this is a tough one. Let me first state that the Myers-Briggs may be helpful in understanding our own and our partner's motivators and needs, personally and professionally, but it won't predict relationship or career satisfaction. Some of the challenges described in this question may go beyond what the Myers-Briggs can measure, but I'll do my best to bring some understanding to this couple from a type perspective. First, I'll provide a brief overview of the INFJ and ISTP types. I'll then discuss some of the joys and challenges each may experience in a relationship with the other, and then talk about some career strategies that may be helpful to try. Despite the fact that these two types are both introverts, they may appear to have very little in common. They will both most likely relate to each other's need for privacy, preferring to interact with others in smaller groups rather than large, boisterous groups, and both very likely have active minds but quiet facades. In a romantic relationship, they may both take time to get to know each other and express their feelings. Now, interestingly enough, both of these two Myers-Briggs types use the exact same cognitive functions, just in a different order. ISTPs use introverted thinking and extroverted sensing as their favorite functions. This means that they're keenly aware of their surroundings and want to attain a logical understanding of how things work. INFJs also use these functions, but they're not going to be as well developed as they are for the ISTP. INFJs like Sarah use introverted intuition and extroverted feeling as their favorite functions. This means that they're always planning and strategizing and are keenly aware of other people's feelings. ISTPs also use these two functions, but they aren't as well developed as they are for the INFJ. In short, ISTPs are focused on things, while INFJs are focused on people. Therefore, if both people display their dominant traits and are well-developed individuals, this pairing can actually help each other on their less developed traits. Let's take a closer look at each. INFJs are estimated to be the rarest of the 16 Myers-Briggs types, at 1 to 2% of the U.S. population. Because they are so rare, others may have difficulty relating to the INFJ, and INFJs themselves have probably felt misunderstood more than once. INFJs find great fulfillment in helping and guiding others, so it's no surprise that INFJ Sarah is going to great lengths to help her ISTP partner. It's probably extremely painful for Sarah to see her partner struggling so much. Now, I've seen this happen with many feeling types, but especially INFJs. The need to help a loved one surpasses the loved one's needs. INFJs are also known as being overly sensitive and can feel victimized if their loved ones don't seem to value their insights or take their advice. I'll come back to this shortly. For now, I'll say that INFJs may struggle with boundaries as they're caught between being of service and protecting themselves. INFJs are creative, visionary people who have original ways of looking at the world and are innovative in solving problems. INFJs are also known to be perfectionists, and this quest for perfection can lead to burnout. Planning happens to be one of their greatest strengths. They just don't do spontaneity, nor do they live life day by day. And ironically, this is where the ISTP excels. Now, to the ISTP type. These folks are realists and risk takers who have a knack for cutting through the red tape that tends to delay other types of people. ISTPs are all about reaching conclusions quickly with as little effort as possible. They don't like to be tied down. They'll not do well with strict schedules or rules for that matter. They need their freedom. They are doers, not planners. ISTPs can seem cold and detached, and many ISTPs, especially younger or less mature ones, may not see the need to develop their emotional side and try to understand their partner's needs. Instead, they may try to cut through the proverbial red tape since this is where they're comfortable, and it's probably worked out for them in other areas of their lives. ISTPs may also appear indecisive and undirected because their preference is to keep their options open, gathering facts and details from the environment. This may be extremely frustrating for others, such as an INFJ, with a preference for closure. There are 3 potential problem areas that come to mind with INFJ-ISTP relationships. First is the JP dichotomy. While judgers or Js are goal-oriented and plan ahead, perceivers or Ps are the opposite. Ps don't always have a sense of time or closure. Ps have bursts of energy, while Js make steady progress. For obvious reasons, these two are bound to butt heads from time to time. Second is the SN dichotomy. ISTPs are comfortable being on the surface and may relate to others in terms of shared interests and activities rather than emotional bonding. INFJs are visionaries and solve problems in creative ways. Unlike ISTPs, INFJs are more comfortable relating to others in a deep, meaningful way. Third, and perhaps most notable, is the TF dichotomy. INFJs are quick to have hurt feelings or feel offended or be susceptible to other people's moods. In Sarah's case, if her ISTP partner is grumpy, odds are that Sarah will feed off that and be grumpy too. ISTPs aren't as tuned in to their emotional side as INFJs, and because their feeling side isn't as well developed, their emotions may manifest in inappropriate times or all of the sudden. It's important to note, however, that ISTPs can be highly emotional people, but if they're put on the spot to talk about their emotions, and INFJs who are so highly tuned into their emotions may do this unintentionally, ISTPs may react in an insecure way despite the fact that they genuinely do care. ISTPs are not ones to share romantic thoughts or words, and some INFJs may want or expect these declarations. Without the emotional feedback they crave, INFJs are apt to become clingy because they're unsure of where they stand. This can be a tightrope to walk without good communication skills on the part of both partners. Let's talk more specifically about career difficulties. For any Myers-Briggs type, if a career doesn't engage the dominant and auxiliary functions, the person is going to be bored or actively disengaged. For an ISTP, this is bound to happen in an office environment that doesn't engage the dominant function of extroverted sensing. ISTPs, remember, are doers, and I can think of nothing worse for them than sitting behind a desk performing repetitive tasks. Most ISTPs would be best engaged by using their extroverted sensing to work in the field, troubleshoot, save lives, or do work that's physically stimulating, or solving tangible problems, which engages the function of introverted thinking. For more on satisfying career paths for ISTPs, please check out my podcast, Myers-Briggs for Midlife Career Changers, available on my website, www.atopcareer.com. A simple solution to curing career boredom is to start by asking what you like to do, i.e., what are your hobbies? What are things that hold your interest? The problem comes if the person replies nothing and really means it. In this case, the person could either be burned out or depressed. If this is a medical or psychiatric concern, It should be addressed through therapy and/or medication. Please check out my podcast on Myers-Briggs and depression for more information. In the case of an ISTP, burnout may happen if he or she can't see the point to what they're doing. Logically, they know they need a job to make money, but it's hard to get past their own inertia. ISTPs can justify this all they want, make excuse after excuse, but the clear-cut answer to their problem is to stop doing whatever it is they're doing that's hurting them. In Sarah's partner's case, it's to stop saying there's nothing out there for me and it's pointless to find another career path. That's just giving up. The more he says that, the worse off he's going to be. Another thing to be aware of in terms of ISTP career satisfaction is that although ISTPs are by nature very curious people, their lack of interest in abstract ideas and theories may cause them to underperform in school or in jobs where this skill is required. ISTPs will do much better in tactile environments where they can use their troubleshooting and quick problem-solving skills. Here are 3 things Sarah can do to best support her ISTP partner. 1. Let him be independent. ISTPs crave independence, and trying to control him is going to backfire. ISTPs need their space and alone time for self-reflection in order to maintain balance in their careers and relationships. Remember that life is unpredictable, and you can't control everything. 2. Let him figure it out. Because INFJs are so passionate, they are prone to being a little obsessed with their cause. Sarah, if you're feeling stressed because of your partner's stress, indulge your curiosity and learn more about his ISTP nature. But ultimately, he needs to be in the driver's seat of his own career success. Remember that ISTPs don't do well with rules, conceptual ideas, and strict schedules. And though your partner may appear to be indecisive, you're going to get the best out of him if you let him be his natural, independent self. 3. Small gestures, not words. Remember that as a sensor, your ISTP values what he can see, hear, taste, touch, or smell more than abstract or theoretical matters. Give him some reinforcement that life is still okay and you're there for him, but don't go overboard. The rest just takes time. Now, ISTPs, if you can relate to not having a career direction or being burned out by your job, here are 3 things you can start doing today. First, start exercising. Physical activity is absolutely necessary for everyone, but especially for ISTP types. Your body won't have the same type of reactions to stress after working out, and changes in the body will lead to changes in the mind. So start with some hard aerobic activity, whatever you want, and integrate this into your daily routine. Second, don't think about the future too much. Focus on the now. Look at each problem in terms of what you can do now to overcome it. The future will still be there, so right now, don't think about long-term career aspirations. Focus day by day, and you'll see how much this will improve your overall well-being. Third, learn about what makes you tick. There's a lot of information on the web about ISTPs, including videos of ISTPs, famous and otherwise, being themselves. Seeing how other ISTPs are in their natural state can help you understand yourself better, become more comfortable with yourself, and this will lead to better decisions. Remind yourself that you are capable and focus on near-term tasks to boost your confidence. When things go wrong in a relationship, it often boils down to differences in communication styles and different needs. Learning more about what makes each other tick and implementing the simple solutions described will go a long way. And when a relationship is good, professional lives are good too. Sarah, thank you so much for your question.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you'd like to hear more, or you'd like to submit a question yourself, then you can find us at www.atopcareer.com. Until next time. MBTI and Myers-Briggs are registered trademarks of the MBTI Trust.